Welcome back to the Smart Garden channel, where we turn your gardening challenges into growing triumphs. Today, we're diving deep into the world of tomatoes, those delicious red gems that so many home gardeners aspire to grow. While tomatoes are relatively forgiving plants, there are several critical mistakes that can derail even the most dedicated gardener's efforts. Whether you're cultivating your first tomato plant or you're a seasoned grower looking to perfect your technique, these insights will help ensure your tomato harvest is the envy of the neighborhood. Let's explore the top 10 mistakes to avoid for cultivating the most flavorful, abundant tomato crop possible. Rushing the season. Patience is key. One of the most common pitfalls in tomato cultivation is the eagerness to get plants into the ground too early. Tomatoes are notorious heat lovers that simply cannot tolerate cold soil or chilly nights. Planting before soil temperatures consistently reach at least 60 degrees Fahrenheit during the day sets your plants up for stunted growth and potential failure. Young seedlings should reach 6 to 8 inches in height before transplanting, developing a strong root system to support future growth. When planted prematurely, tomatoes often experience blossom drop, where flowers fall off before fruit can form, or develop misshapen scarred fruits at the blossom end. Even if your spring fever has you itching to start, resist the urge to rush. Your patience will be rewarded with healthier plants and a more abundant harvest. Poor location selection. Sun and space matter. The location you choose for your tomato plants dramatically impacts their productivity. Tomatoes require at least 8 hours of direct sunlight daily to produce the energy needed for optimal fruit development. Many gardeners underestimate this requirement, placing tomatoes in areas that receive dappled light or afternoon shade. Additionally, proper air circulation is essential for disease prevention, making overcrowded spaces problematic. Select an open area with well-draining soil, and avoid planting tomatoes where potatoes or peppers have grown in the previous 2 years, as they share common diseases. Consider using mulch around your plants to retain moisture and regulate soil temperature. Just remember to pull it back about 2 inches from the stem to prevent rot and create a small watering well around each plant's base. Crowding your plants. Give them room to breathe. In the excitement of planting a bumper crop, many gardeners make the critical error of planting tomatoes too close together. This crowding creates a cascade of problems. Restricted airflow increases humidity around plants, inadequate sunlight reaches lower leaves, and diseases spread more rapidly between neighboring plants. For determinate varieties, bush types that grow to a specific height, allow 18 to 24 inches between plants, with rows spaced 4 feet apart. Indeterminate tomatoes, vining types that continue growing throughout the season, need even more space, 2 to 3 feet between plants, and 5 to 6 feet between rows. This generous spacing ensures each plant receives adequate light, air, and nutrients to produce at its full potential. Choosing the wrong variety. Know your tomato types. Selecting tomato varieties without considering your specific growing conditions and goals often leads to disappointment. Determinate tomatoes, which reach a predetermined height, usually about 3 feet, and produce most of their fruit within a short period, are ideal for small spaces and gardeners interested in preserving or canning. Indeterminate varieties continue growing and producing until frost kills them, potentially reaching 6 to 20 feet tall, making them perfect for gardeners who want fresh tomatoes throughout the season. Beyond this basic distinction, consider disease resistance, flavor profiles, and size when selecting varieties. Research which types perform best in your climate, and don't be afraid to experiment with heirloom varieties alongside proven performers for your region. Improper watering timing. Morning is magical. The timing of irrigation significantly impacts tomato health and productivity. Watering during the heat of the day is inefficient, as much of the moisture evaporates before reaching the roots. Late afternoon or evening watering leaves foliage damp overnight, creating ideal conditions for fungal diseases to develop. Early morning watering is optimal. It allows plants to absorb moisture before the day heats up while giving wet foliage time to dry before evening. If morning watering isn't possible, dusk is your next best option. Just ensure you're watering the soil at the base of plants, rather than showering the leaves, which can promote disease development regardless of timing. Inconsistent moisture. Finding the balance. Tomatoes thrive with consistent soil moisture, not too wet, not too dry. Many gardeners either underwater or overwater, both of which create significant problems. Overwatering dilutes flavor and can lead to root rot and nutrient leaching, while underwatering stresses plants and can cause blossom end rot and fruit splitting. The key is deep, infrequent watering that encourages roots to grow downward. For most soils, this means a thorough soaking once or twice weekly, allowing the top inch or two of soil to dry slightly between waterings. Sandy soils may need water every 4 to 5 days, while heavier clay soils might go 7 to 10 days between irrigation. Consistent moisture is particularly crucial during fruit development to prevent splitting and cracking. Neglecting nutrition. Feed your plants properly. Tomatoes are heavy feeders that require regular nutrition throughout their growing season. Many gardeners either forget to fertilize or apply excessive nitrogen, which promotes lush foliage at the expense of fruit production. Choose a balanced organic fertilizer specifically formulated for tomatoes, with adequate calcium to prevent blossom end rot. Apply fertilizer at planting time and then every 4 to 6 weeks throughout the growing season. Consider a slow-release formula for convenience, and remember that more is not better. Over-fertilization can be as detrimental as under-fertilization, causing nutrient imbalances and attracting pests to the excessive foliage. Inadequate support. Tomatoes need structure. Failing to provide proper support for tomato plants is a common mistake that leads to reduced yields and increased disease pressure. Unsupported plants sprawl on the ground where fruit contacts soil and becomes vulnerable to rot and pest damage. Install stakes, cages, or trellises within days of transplanting to avoid disrupting established root systems later. For indeterminate varieties, choose robust support systems that can handle plants potentially reaching 6+ feet tall with heavy fruit loads. Securing plants to their supports as they grow helps distribute weight evenly and maintains good air circulation around foliage and developing fruit. Improper pruning. The right cut makes a difference. Pruning mistakes can significantly impact your tomato harvest. Many gardeners either skip pruning entirely or approach all tomato varieties with the same pruning strategy. Determinate tomatoes require minimal pruning, removing only the lowest leaves as the plant grows, while indeterminate varieties benefit from more aggressive pruning of suckers, the shoots that form in the crotch between the main stem and branches. Proper pruning of indeterminate tomatoes improves airflow, reduces disease pressure, and directs the plant's energy toward fruit production rather than excessive foliage. However, avoid removing too many leaves, as tomatoes need adequate foliage to protect developing fruit from sun-scald. Ignoring pest problems. Early intervention is critical. Perhaps the most heartbreaking mistake is allowing pests to devastate a nearly mature tomato crop. Regular inspection is your best defense. Check the undersides of leaves for eggs and emerging pests at least weekly. Hornworms, spider mites, and stink bugs are common tomato adversaries that can be managed effectively if caught early. Natural solutions like hand-picking hornworms, spraying plants with strong streams of water to dislodge spider mites, or using insecticidal soap can keep pest populations in check without resorting to harsh chemicals that might harm beneficial insects. Implementing companion planting with pest-repelling herbs like basil and marigolds provides additional protection while enhancing garden biodiversity. Final thoughts. Your tomato journey continues. Armed with knowledge about these common tomato growing mistakes, you're now prepared to cultivate a thriving, productive tomato garden. Remember that gardening is a journey of continuous learning. Even experienced growers encounter new challenges each season. If you found these tips helpful, please support the Smart Garden channel by subscribing, hitting the notification bell, and sharing this video with fellow gardening enthusiasts. Drop your own tomato growing tips in the comments below. We love learning from our community of passionate gardeners. Until next time, happy growing.